with Concordia head men's basketball coach Ben Limback to preview the 2014-15 season. I think last year was certainly a learning experience for the whole team. Even though the record isn't where you wanted it to be, what do you think was accomplished last season that puts you in a better position for this year?
Sure. No, last year was definitely a learning experience for all of us, myself included. My first year back in the GPAC, and a lot of new faces, new style of play. We had one senior, and Adam did a tremendous job last year. With a very, very young team. I had a number of guys, freshmen, that had to play right away, and even sophomores that didn't see a lot of minutes the previous year had to play significant minutes last year. So anytime you're young and new coach and a lot of new things in a tough league that the GPAC is, I think we didn't meet our expectation by any means, but I do feel like we got something out of the season, and something we can build on for this year for sure.
Now that you're in your second season here, you have 4 starters back. How much more comfortable and smoother have things been in preparation?
Yeah, we were just talking as a coaching staff the other day how this year just feels like we're further along than we were the first year, and same thing. A lot of new stuff that was new last year is kind of the returners know what to expect. So I think. I've been pleased with our progress. We still have a ways to go, especially defensively. But I like, our returners, their attitude, and what their mindset is, and helping the new guys along as well. Because some of those new faces we're counting on as well. But having 4 starters back in a league like this is going to be great, and there's some new faces that'll be pushing those guys as well.
Last year, some guys like Chandler Folkerts, Robbie Thomas, Justin Dammy, Aaron Walker were key pieces as young players. How much growth have you seen in them?
Yeah, no, a bunch of those guys had a great summer. Chandler worked very hard. Justin worked very hard as well. Their bodies are in great shape. Just having Micah and Joel back. Last year they got off, they weren't able to play right away, so that was a major setback at the beginning of the year last year, and just having them ready to go this year from the onset is going to be big for us. And then there's guys that that we expect to contribute, played some last year. Guys like Aaron Walker and Eli Ziegler and some of these guys that got limited minutes or different roles last year that might have bigger roles this year that we anticipate. So, and Steve Llewellyn. Some of these guys that got some minutes last year that we hope translate into bigger things this year.
Now there were times last year where Chandler was pretty dominant and inside. What will be the key to him kind of taking another step and maybe becoming one of the better post players in the GPAC? Yeah,
he's definitely coming on. He's had a great week of practice, even this week as well, and we're expecting big things out of Chandler. He's a very unselfish kid, works extremely hard. He's talking more this year, which is great to see. But he definitely, we need something out of Chandler beyond what he did last year even, and he's ready for that. I think he knows that. We really want him to be more, selfish in the post, where if he gets it in there, that he goes to work. We want him to be more available in there. His body type, his athleticism is all made some big improvements from last year. He's dunking like crazy right now in practice, and a lot of it's his mindset and aggressiveness, but also is his just different athleticism is coming on. So we're excited about what he's going to bring this year.
Robbie Thomas had a breakthrough season as a sophomore last year and was one of the better shot blockers in the conference and maybe even the country. What do you see in store for his junior season?
Yeah, Robbie, same thing like Chandler. We're all conference honorable mention, and so I think with that they know that the expectation for them is to have an even bigger season. And so Robbie, he's coming on too. His you can see the confidence is much different this year than it was at the beginning of last year. I think he knows what to expect, and we call Robbie a difference maker, where when he shows up and he's great, then he's a big difference maker on our team. So his ability to handle the ball, shoot it from deep, go inside if we need it. Defensively, he alters shots. He comes out of nowhere to block shots. He's improving on the perimeter defensively. So we're excited. Right now he's in playing more of a forward inside position, inside outside. But he might be a wing for us. Once everybody gets healthy from our team.
And Max Wegner got off to a really good start the first couple games last year, and unfortunately went down in the third game here. I know he's dealt with an injury this offseason too, but how much of a boost can he give once he's back healthy?
Yeah, Max is he's had some time off, so it'll be a challenge for him to get his timing back and to get back into the flow. But he's got a great attitude. He was cleared and having a pretty good summer, working hard, and then one of those things where he was playing tennis and fractures his foot, and so he's been in a boot and crutches for the last few weeks, and so he'll miss a couple weeks here. But we're excited to get him back out there sooner than later, and he's one of those guys you don't know what to expect after an injury, but his talent level, his ability. It's there. He can shoot it. He's skilled for a 6'9" guy. So he'll add some depth and definitely some scoring and rebounding for us this year.
As you mentioned, just one senior last year, and that's the case again this year with Joel Haywood. How important is his leadership to the team, being that one senior?
Yeah, Joel, he's had a great summer. Last year he got injured about this time of the year, and we were just talking about that. But this year, I think, being able to go into it healthy and ready to go. Joel's got great vision. He's a great floor general. He's a point guard or any type of guard. He's experienced, and anytime you can have experience on a GPAC team, it goes a long way. So that experience has been valuable so far in practice. He's played and started a lot of games in his 4-year career or his 3 years so far, and so we're relying on Joel's leadership, what he does with getting guys involved, being a playmaker and hitting the open shot and attacking the basket. So but Joel's been tremendous so far as a leader, and we've been having some pretty good practices, and a lot of that's because of his attitude and what he's bringing this year, his senior year.
How is that point guard position coming along? Is that something where you expect Joel to kind of run with it, or there's maybe some newcomers in the mix as well?
Yeah, no, I think there's some competition at that position, which makes everybody better. Joel, right now he's got the experience at that position. But if we want to move him off the ball, especially defensively, we have some new guys that will contribute there. Kevin White out of Chicago. He's very talented and can get the ball up and down and very unselfish, but he can also score. Rudy Knight out of Texas, he's a newcomer too, where extremely quick, changes the game defensively on the ball, can push it, and he's still adjusting to the speed and decision making of the game, but I think he's going to help us this year as well. Even the returners, Kenny Blank, Seth Curran, some of these guys that saw some minutes last year, they can surface as well. It's one of those things where it's nice to have some depth at that position, and we hope that competitiveness will continue throughout the year. If somebody gets injured or if somebody isn't feeling well or whatever, and it might allow us to play two of those guys at once, because we can do that in the type of offense that we run. So yeah, we'll see, but it's been great so far, the competitive battles.
You mentioned Kevin White and Rudy Knight. What do you like overall about this class that comes in to help this team?
Well, what I like most is that they're, a lot of these guys were winners in high school. Kevin played in one of the top Chicago leagues, public school leagues, and had a lot of success. One of the most winningest teams in school history, and I think that's says a lot about his coach and obviously their team. And so Kevin and Rudy, all the freshmen. We had Josh Kirkwold, the state champion in South Dakota, and Nathan Tunges, big out of Wisconsin, state runner-up back-to-back years. So I think we like these guys that come from winning programs, and there's a number of these freshmen, Dylan Harms, I said Nathan already, but these guys can come in and contribute right away. Riley Carew, he came from Lutheran High in Denver, and he's really showing some things where he'll have an opportunity to be in the rotation right away, obviously he comes from a tremendous program in Denver and make the state tournament, and every year they seem like they're challenging. So to have guys that are experienced winning and know what it takes to win at a high level, I think that's where that should translate eventually to college. But what I like best about these guys is they get along great. All the freshmen get along well, and they're already interacting with the returners. So they've been a fun group to work with, and it's fun to see them in the mix already. But a number of freshmen, even at the JV level, that I think will compete for spots eventually. At that varsity level, Scott Johnson and Ryan Olson, and I mentioned Josh and even Logan, who hasn't been healthy. So there's some good depth there.
Your first run through the GPAC, what did you learn about the league that's going to help you moving forward?
Well, I think anytime you can get accustomed to how the style of play, certain coaches, what they do, just the returners, what the league has coming back, knowing personnel, I learned a great deal. I mean, we even saw that, through some adjustments the second time through each team, what we needed to do as a team. But it's the same thing this year. There's some great teams. Midland returns a lot of their guys, and they were national runner-up, in Morningside, and they return a lot of their guys, and they were at the national tournament. So some of these teams that it's not going to be any easier there than it was last year. It's just different. Different teams might surface than last year, but knowing what to expect, I think that definitely helps. But I think we want to do the same thing we wanted to do last year, which is compete. Compete for a conference championship, compete for a national berth, and just continue to fight and do things and improve every day.
And lastly, analyze the non-conference schedule a little bit. You have a couple games in Kansas to start the season, and you also have a trip to Florida where you get to take on Raleigh Massimino's Northwood team. What was some of the strategy behind that?
We wanted to play some competitive games. We're on the road for our first couple of games down in Kansas, and KCAC, two teams out of there. And then we'll come back for the Bulldog Classic. But we have some neat matchups. We go to Florida and we play actually at Concordia, Canada. So we'll play another Concordia on the schedule this year. So that'll be fun. But then Northwood's been a tremendous team over the years, and to get to go against Coach Massimino, who's a national icon, I think that'll be exciting for me as a coach. But I hope our team enjoys that as well. And CIT, all these things, non-conference wise, but we wanted a competitive schedule. We wanted something to prepare us for the league, road games, some home games, but it'll be a fun year.